Mm-hmm. What up, and what's poppin'? It's your dog Breeze from Fahrenheit 451, part of the Fourth and Gold Network. We're burning the books alive, 1-1 on yesterday's WNBA picks. Back with my best bets in the WNBA for August 28th, where we have a 5-game slate. Let's dive right into it. First up, we see the 22-7 Connecticut Sun traveling to Indiana to take on the 13-15 Fever. Connecticut minus 3.5 on the spread, minus 108. All are brought to you by FanDuel. All game odds. Total is set at 163.5. You can get Connecticut on the money line at 176. In this game, I'm leaning heavily for Alyssa Thomas to go crazy on her rebounds as she has a phenomenal head-to-head track record. But I don't like her current rebounding form. So in this one officially, I'm going to be taking Caitlin Clark under 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 112 over at FanDuel. She's had 23, 25, and 12 points, rebounds, and assists in her first 3 games versus Connecticut, those dating back to June before the break. Connecticut ranks first in points allowed. Connecticut ranks first in rebounds allowed, ranks first in assists allowed, and ranks first in 3-pointers made. Daniel Berry, wagwan, my boy. Next, we see the 6-19 Washington Mystics traveling to Shy City, Skytown, to take on the 10-14 Chicago Sky. The Windy City, that's what I was thinking of. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Washington favored minus 2.5 on the money line. Get that at minus 108 over on FanDuel. Total is set to 158.5. And Washington is minus 142 on the money line. Now, I took Mystics money line minus 130 yesterday. Kennedy Carter is out. Kennedy Carter is pretty much the heart and soul of the Chicago Sky's scoring. I won't even say their team, but definitely their scoring. They're obviously without Marina Mabrey, Elizabeth Williams, and I feel as though I don't know if it's COVID-19 or just common illness or whatever, but the Chicago Sky had to shut down their practice because a bunch of their players were complaining about feeling sick. So Kennedy Carter is out. I wouldn't be surprised if any more of those gals do get ruled out in this game. Love all thing Angel Reese rebounds as long as she's not sick. I'm leaning heavily on Brittany Sykes points to soar over. I'm leaning heavily on Ariel Atkins points to soar over. Mystics are just a better team, but especially without Kennedy Carter. Mystics will be without Shakira Austin, but I believe they can just slide Aaliyah Edwards right into that spot, and it should be easy money. The only thing I fear is that they might take the game away, but Chicago is that bad offensively that they might not be able to. Next, we see the 7-17 Atlanta Dream, hottest team in the league at the moment, traveling to the Pacific Northwest to take on the 17-8 Seattle Storm, who are favored minus 8 on the spread. That is 106 over at FanDuel. Over under set to 155.5, and you can get the Atlanta Dream plus 289 on the money line. This 5. That's such a low total. I lean the total to go over. And I lean Atlanta to cover the 8-point spread. Seattle's current form is just ugly. So in these first 3 games, I lean Connecticut to cover the 4-point spread, and I think that game goes over 164. In the next game, I'm obviously on the Mystics line, but I lean the Mystics to cover the 3-point spread and the game to go under the 159 total. Third game, which we're currently on, I'm leaning Atlanta to cover the 8-point spread and the total to go over 156. In this one, I'll be taking Ryan Howard of the Atlanta Dream over her 2.5 3-pointers made at minus 120 odds over at Bet365. In her last 3 games, she has 4, 3, and 4 3-pointers made. In her last 3 games, she has 13, 11, and 10 3-pointers attempted. In her last 3 out of 4 games versus the Seattle Storm, she has 3, 4, and 5 3-pointers made. In her last 3 out of 4 games versus the Seattle Storm, she has 10, 10, and 9 3-pointers attempted. So Ryan Howard is very similar to Sabrina Ionescu. The shots are going up. We just hope a couple of them go in. Shots are going up from range. We just hope a couple of them go in. All right. Next, we see the 18-8 Minnesota Lynx traveling to Arizona to take on Tina Charles, another 20-point day. I wouldn't be mad at it. She's going up against her old team, and they give it up on the interior. So I couldn't talk you off of Tina Charles' points and her rebounds. She could have a 20-20 game. I'll definitely have her rebounds in a parlay of 3. We see the 18-8 Minnesota Lynx traveling to Arizona to take on the 13-12 Phoenix Mercury. Minnesota favored -4.5 on the spread, -110. Over under set to 162.5, and you can get Minnesota on the money line at -188. In this one, I'm definitely leaning Minnesota -4.5. It opened at 3.5 last night. And I'm leaning the total to, I don't know. It's 162.5 is pretty low, so I'm leaning the total to go over. But Minnesota has a really stout defense, and they could put the clamps on. If Phoenix is missing their threes, it could get ridiculously ugly. What I took Minnesota money line -155. Yeah, Minnesota hot as fish grease right now. I took a future for Minnesota to win the title a few days ago after they smacked the Aces up, and I took a Nafisa Collier MVP future at like plus 3,700, just in case they want to factor, the wins in, because I feel like the Lynx will finish with a better record than the Aces, and she's been hooping. She ain't been Asia Wilson hooping, but she's been hooping, and she'll finish with a better record. We've seen it hella times in the NBA. Don Wagwan. All right, so in this one, I took Minnesota money line -155 over at ESPN. Damn, I meant to write this down. So Minnesota played Phoenix 3 times this season, and they beat them once, I want to say by 12, another time by maybe 9. I'm spitballing here, but they've had like double-digit or close to double-digit wins in 2 out of 3 of their head-to-head matchups earlier this season. And the one game they did lose, I remember watching that, they lost to Phoenix by 1 point. So I just feel like Minnesota is head and shoulders above the Phoenix Mercury. I feel like the Phoenix Mercury are a very unserious team. I also feel like the Phoenix Mercury are built very similar to the Phoenix Suns, and that's just not going to get it done, especially if your stars are not on. And, happy birthday to Kalia Copper. But if she's not on, if Taurasi's not on, if Griner's not on, or if 2 of them aren't on, it could get ugly quick. So I took the Minnesota money line -155 over at ESPN. The spread -4.5, -110 at FanDuel. Yeah, whatever. Run me that. I'll take it. Last but not least, the 25-6 best team in the NBA. If they're not the best team, then they're the second best team. 25-6 New York Liberty are traveling to the City of Angels to take on. That's a fact. That's a fact, Judah. That's a fact, Judah. 25-6 New York Liberty are traveling to the City of Angels to take on the 6-24 Los Angeles Sparks. New York favorite on the spread, -13.5. That's -108 over at FanDuel. Over under set to 165.5, and there's no point even playing the New York Liberty money line. So you can get LA on the money line at plus 650. That's a huge spread. They're on the road. I lean the Liberty. I lean the Liberty to cover the 14. They've been straight smoking teams, and I lean the total to go over 166. Nah, Sabrina really ain't been on nothing, but she just coming back from that neck injury. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that can be difficult. But I do like Sabrina tonight. We finna get right into that. So I'm leaning New York to go over to 14, and I'm leaving the total to go over 166. All right. In this game, I did take New York's team total over 87.5, minus 125 over at Bet 365. It has since moved to 88.5. I like it there as well. New York versus these Los Angeles Sparks this season: 103, 98, and 93 points scored. So do I think that they could get 88 or 89? Yeah, I think they might score 100 today. All right. So I took New York team total over to 87.5, and then I took a little parlay, a little two-person parlay personal pizza. All right. I took Sabrina Ionescu over her three threes. She's had three threes in her last 6 out of 7 games. She's also had three threes in her last 4 games straight versus the Sparks. And I parlayed that with Brianna Stewart to have 15 points. Stu York has had 15 points in her last 9 games straight versus the Sparks, and she's had 15 points or more in her last 9 out of 10 games straight up. So Sabrina Ionescu, three threes, parlayed that with Stu York, 15 points. That's minus 115 over at Bet 365. So, to recap everything that I did take, we started the day off with Caitlin Clark under 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Then we're going to take the Mystics money line. In that next game, we'll be on Ryan Howard over 2.5 3-pointers made. Then we're going to go the Minnesota money line. And last but not least, we are going to finish with New York's team total over 88. And Sabrina Ionescu three threes, parlayed that with Stu York plus 15 points. Yeah, I like Stewart points straight up. You can get her 21 for plus money, or you can get her 20 points at like minus 120. So we'll see how the day goes, man. And day goes well, I might have some more stuff on Twitter. However, parlays and builders will be over on Twitter. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them. As always, I will see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and fish grease, man. Thank you for everybody for pulling up. Drop your best bets in the comments, man. I'm out. You damn right we eating, man. Pile the plate up. Let's get it. I'll see y'all in a minute.